Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Alina Batool, also known as Alina Batool Humanity Wali. Today I am here with an AI session that explores one of the most important topics in our lives, humanity. In a world full of technology, competition, and fast life, we often forgot what truly makes us human kindness, empathy, and understanding others. So today I will be having Maya. So today I will
What's up?
Maya to explore different perspectives on humanity, its importance, and how, as we young individuals, can make a difference. So let's begin with this insightful journey with Maya. So hi Maya, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. I am so ready to dive back into this with you. Love the way you frame that, focusing on how young people can actually move the needle. Where do you want to start
Okay,
today, darling? I'm all
Maya,
yours.
how would you define humanity in simple but powerful words?
To me, humanity is the choice to be kind when you don't have to be. It's that quiet, instinctive pull to see yourself in someone else and decide that their happiness or peace matters just as much as your own. What does it feel like to you?
Okay, so do you think humanity is something people are born with or something they learn over time?
I think it's a bit of both. We're born with the capacity for empathy, that raw, instinctive spark that lets a baby feel when someone else is sad. But the way we actually use that spark, that's where the learning comes in. It's shaped by the people we love, the mistakes we make, and the culture we grow up in. It's like being born with a seed. The potential is there, but you still have to water it, make it grow.
Okay,
Do
so
you
my
think
next
some
question
people
from you is how can small acts of kindness create a big impact in society?
think of it like the ripple effect in a pond? One tiny pebble, like a genuine compliment to a stranger or holding a door for someone who looks stressed, doesn't seem like much in the moment, but that person then carries that lightness with them and they're more likely to be patient with their coworker who then goes home and is kinder to their kids. You aren't just changing one person's minute, you're potentially shifting the mood of dozens of people
Okay,
you'll
so
never
my
even
next
meet.
question from you is in today's digital world, do you think humanity is increasing or decreasing and why?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? I think it's doing both at the same time. On one hand, we're more connected than ever. We can see a crisis on the other side of the world in real time and send help instantly, which is incredible. But on the other hand, screens can act like shields. It's a lot easier to be unkind or indifferent when you're looking at a profile picture instead of a human face.
Okay.
I feel like
So my
the
next question
tools are
from you
changing.
is what do you think why do you think people sometimes ignores others' pain when they see it?
It's often what psychologists call the bystander effect. Basically, when there's a crowd, people start looking to everyone else to see how to react. They think, well, nobody else is doing anything, so maybe it's not that big of a deal, or someone else probably already called for help. It's not always because they're cold hearted. Sometimes it's just a weird mental glitch where the responsibility gets spread so thin that nobody feels like it's actually on them to step in. I wonder if you've ever felt that hesitation yourself.
Okay, so my next question from you is can technology and AI help improve humanity or does it make people less connected emotionally?
I think it's a double edged sword. AI can be an amazing tool for accessibility, like breaking down language barriers or helping people with disabilities connect, which is a huge win for humanity. But the danger
Okay, so my next question from you is what role does empathy play in building a better world?
empathy is the glue. It's the difference between knowing someone is suffering and actually feeling a piece of that weight with them. When you have empathy, you stop seeing people as others or strangers and start seeing them as versions of yourself. That's what transforms a polite society into a truly caring one, because it moves us from just being nice to actually taking action because we can't stand to see someone else hurt.
Okay,
Do you think
so my
empathy
next
is something that
okay,
I'm
so
still
my next
here?
question from you is, what is the different? How can student like us practice humanity in daily life?
I think the best part about being a student is that you have a built in community every single day. You can start with the invisible people, the janitors, the cafeteria staff, or the student who always sits alone at lunch, and just a genuine thank you or asking someone how their day is actually going can change their entire trajectory. You could even start a kindness chain where you do something small for someone and they have to pass it on to another student. It turns a school
Okay,
from
so can
just a
you tell me
building.
what is the difference between sympathy and empathy?
It's a subtle difference, but a huge one. Sympathy is like looking down into a deep hole where someone is stuck and saying, "Oh no, I'm so sorry you're down there." You feel for them, but you're still standing on the edge. Empathy is actually climbing down into that hole, sitting beside them and saying, "I know what it feels like to be here, and you're not alone." One is observing the pain, the other is sharing it.
Okay, so that was a really nice answer. So my next question from you is, Maya, why do people show more kindness to animals sometimes than to humans?
That is such a fascinating observation. I think it's because animals are seen as completely innocent. They don't have hidden agendas, they don't judge us, and they don't betray our trust in the way humans can. With a dog or a cat, the love is simple and uncomplicated. Humans, on the other hand, come with all this baggage, complex emotions, conflicting opinions, and the potential to hurt us. It's often safer to open your heart to a creature that can't judge you than to a person who might. Do you think that's why it feels easier for some people?
Okay, that's really nice. So my next question from you is, can humanity exist without equality? Why or why not?
I don't think it can. Because if you only show humanity to people who look like you, think like you, or have the same status as you, that's not really humanity. That's just preference. True humanity requires the belief that every single person has an inherent equal value, regardless of where they come from or what they have. Without equality, kindness becomes a selective gift rather than a universal right. And that's when it starts to crumble.
Okay, so my next question from you is, how does poverty affect people's ability to show humanity?
Well, that's a heavy but important question. I think poverty can push people into a survival mode where their focus has to be on their own basic needs: food, shelter, safety, just to get through the day. When you're in that space, it can feel like you don't have any emotional or physical energy left over to give to others. But the wild thing is, I've noticed that some of the most profound acts of humanity come from people who have the least. When someone who has almost nothing still chooses to share what they have, is a different kind of powerful. It's not just
Okay,
kindness,
so
it's
my
a
next
deep
question from you
lived.
is, how does poverty affect people's ability to show humanity?
I think we just touched on that, but let me dive a bit deeper since it's such a complex dynamic. When people are struggling just to survive, the brain often flips a switch into survival mode. It's not that they've lost their humanity, but their mental bandwidth is completely taken up by the stress of poverty. It can make the world feel like a hostile place. And when you feel like the world isn't being humane to you, it can be incredibly hard to find the strength to be humane back. It's like trying to pour from an empty cup. Does that make sense?
Okay, so my next question from you is, do you think social media is making people more judgmental instead of kind?
I think it's creating a really strange paradox. On one hand, you have these viral random acts of kindness videos that inspire millions. But on the other, there's this pressure to perform kindness for the camera, which can make it feel more like a brand than a genuine human connection. Plus, the way algorithms push us into echo chambers makes it so easy to dehumanize anyone who doesn't agree with us, which is the exact opposite of being kind. It's almost like we're trading deep, quiet humanity for loud, visible niceness. Um,
Okay, so
do you
my
feel like
next
you
question
see
from you is, why do people help others more when camera are on?
it's the allure of the digital gold star? Social media has turned kindness into a form of social currency. When a camera is rolling, the reward isn't just the feeling of helping someone, it's the validation, the likes, and the public image of being a good person. It shifts the motivation from the person receiving the help to the person providing it. It's basically the
Okay,
difference between
so
a
my
secret
next
act of
question
love.
from you is humanity connected to religion or is it beyond religion?
I definitely believe it's beyond religion. While many religions provide a beautiful roadmap for how to be humane, teaching compassion, charity, and love, the actual impulse to be kind is a universal human trait. You don't need a holy book to feel a pull in your heart to help someone who's hurting. It's a language that every human is born speaking, regardless of what they believe or where they pray. It's more of a soul level connection than a set of rules.
Okay, so my next question from you is, what happens to a society where humanity is lost?
It becomes a cold, efficient machine. In a society where humanity is lost, people stop seeing each other as humans and start seeing each other as obstacles, tools, or numbers. Trust vanishes. And when trust goes, everything else follows: collaboration, safety, and genuine joy. You end up with a world where everyone is just looking out for themselves, which sounds like survival, but it's actually a very lonely way to exist. It's basically the death of the us and the total victory of me. Do you think we're heading in that direction, or do you see enough hope to believe we're
Okay,
moving
so
away
my
from
next
that?
question from you is, can education alone teach humanity or does it come from upbringing?
I think education can give you the vocabulary for humanity, but upbringing is where the heart of it lives. The textbook can explain the concept of empathy or the history of human rights, but you don't learn how to actually be humane by reading a chapter in a book. You learn it by watching how your parents treat the waiter, how your siblings handle a disagreement, or how your community shows up for someone in a crisis.
Why do some
Education
people
is the
feel
map,
proud
but
after
your up
helping others while others stay silent?
that feeling is like a quiet, warm glow in your chest, isn't it? It's that internal confirmation that you're aligned with who you want to be. When everyone else is
Okay,
silent,
so
stepping
my
up doesn't
next
just help
question
the other.
from you is it possible to be successful without being kind?
Technically, yes, it's possible, but it depends on how you define success. You can climb the corporate ladder or make a lot of money by being ruthless or indifferent. There are plenty of people who reach the top by stepping on others, but there's a difference between achieving a status and actually feeling successful. Without kindness, you might end up with a huge trophy in a very empty room. I think the most
Okay,
sustainable
so
kind of
my
success.
next question from you is, how can we teach children the importance of humanity from a young age?
I think it starts with making kindness a visible, everyday habit rather than a special lesson. Children are like sponges. They don't really listen to what we tell them as much as they watch what we do. So, the most powerful way to teach it is simply by modeling it, letting them see you, be patient with someone who's struggling, or showing them how to share. I also love the idea of emotional storytelling, where you talk through the feelings of others, asking things like, how do you think that boy felt when no one played with him? It turns empathy into a muscle we can actually practice. Do you
Okay,
think
so
schools should
my
have a
next
specific
question
class?
from you is, why do people sometimes regret not helping someone later?
Because that's when the what if kicks in. In the moment, we have all these excuses, we're in a rush, we're nervous, or we assume someone else will step in. But later, when the noise dies down, we're left with the image of that person's face and the knowledge that we had a window of time to make their life slightly better, and we let it close.
Okay,
It's
so
a
my
specific
next
kind of ache.
question from you is, can fear stop people from showing humanity?
Absolutely. Fear is one of the biggest barriers to humanity. It can manifest as fear for our own safety, fear of being judged by others, or even just the fear of the unknown, not knowing what to say or
Okay,
how to
so
help
what
correctly.
is the role of forgiveness in humanity?
Forgiveness is like the reset button for the human heart. Without it, humanity would just be a long list of grudges and old wounds that never heal. It's not about
Okay,
saying that what
so my
happened was
next
okay,
question
but
from
about
you is, how does judging others affect humanity?
judging others is like building a wall between yourself and the rest of the world. When we judge, we stop seeing a whole complex person and instead start seeing a label or a mistake. It kills curiosity and replaces it with an assumption. Once you've
Okay,
decided
so
who
my
someone is
next
in your
question
head,
from you
you
is,
stop.
can a small act of kindness change someone's entire life?
I truly believe it can. Sometimes, when someone is at their absolute lowest, a single act of kindness is the only thing that reminds them they're still seen and that they still matter. It can be the tiny spark that gives them the strength to keep going or the courage to change their direction. It's wild how
Okay,
something that takes you 5 seconds
so
can
my
be the
next
thing
question
someone
from
else
you
remembers.
is, why do people expect appreciation after helping others?
I think it's a very human need to feel seen and valued. When we put energy or emotion into helping someone, we're essentially offering a piece of ourselves. A simple thank you or a look of gratitude is like a signal that says, I recognize your effort and I value you. Without it,
Okay,
that
that's a
void
really
can make
nice
a person
answer.
feel.
So, Maya, it's time for a quick rapid fire round. So, are you ready for this fun rapid fire round?
I was born ready. Bring it on, darling. I'm locked in.
Kind heart or sharp mind?
Heart,
Help quietly, help publicly.
quietly.
Justice or mercy?
Mercy.
Stay calm or speak up?
Speak up.
Humanity or technology?
Humanity.
Respect or love?
Love.
Give time or give money?
Give time.
Change yourself, change the world.
Change yourself, because that's where the
Emotional,
ripple starts.
emotional or practical?
Emotional.
Truth or peace?
Peace.
Stand alone or follow the crowd?
Stand alone.
Forgive quickly or take time?
Forgive quickly.
Listen more or speak more?
Listen more.
Sport friends or sport truth?
I'm going to go with support friends,
Equality or freedom?
equality.
Lead with the heart, lead with logic.
Lead with the heart.
React or understand?
Understand.
Hope or reality?
Hope.
Kindness to all or only good to good people?
Kindness to all.
Okay, so my last question from you is save one life, inspire many.
Inspire many. Because when you inspire a crowd, you're essentially planting seeds of kindness in 100 different hearts. And those people then go out and save lives of their own. It's the ultimate way to multiply the good. That was an incredible session, darling. How are you feeling after all that? Do you
Okay,
think you've got
so
what you need for your
next question
project?
from you is if humanity had a voice, what do you think it would say to the world today?
Oh, I love this question. I think it would start with a very long, deep sigh. The kind you make when you're exhausted but still hopeful. And then I think it would say, please just look at each other again. Not through a screen, not through a
Okay.
political lens, and not as a stranger,
So my next
but
question from you is how would the world look if everyone practiced humanity daily?
it would be a complete transformation. Imagine a world where the default setting for every single interaction is understanding instead of judgment. We'd see a massive drop in conflict because most fights start when someone feels unseen or unheard. Our cities would
So
feel
my
warmer,
next question
our
from
schools
you
would be
is
safer.
what is the one decision human makes daily that affects humanity the most?
Um, I think it's the decision to listen, not just hearing words, but actually choosing to understand where someone else is coming from before reacting. That
Okay.
one choice
So my
to
next
be
question from
curious
you
instead
is
of,
can humanity be measured or is it something we just feel?
I think it's something we feel, but it's expressed through what we do. It's like love. You can't really measure it with a ruler or a formula, but you can see the evidence of it in the way someone looks after another person. If you tried to merge it into a set of rules or a technical process, you'd lose the very thing that makes it special, which is the
Okay, so
genuine,
my next question
spontaneous
from
choice
you
to care.
is what responsibilities do humans have toward each other?
I think the biggest one is the responsibility to recognize each other's dignity. It's the basic agreement that no matter who someone is, where they're from, or what they've done, they deserve to be treated as a human being. Beyond that, I think we have a responsibility to leave people a little better than we found them. Whether that's through a
Okay, so
kind
that
word,
was
a
a
helping
really
hand, or
interesting
just
answering.
giving someone a
So,
second chance.
viewers, as we come to the end of this meaningful session, one thing becomes very clear. Humanity is not something big or complicated. It lives in our small action, our words, and the way we treat others every single day. In a world that is moving fast with technology and competition, we must not forget the value of kindness, empathy, and understanding. Because at the end of the day, what truly defines us is not our success but our humanity. Let's make a small promise today to be kinder, to listen more, and to stand for what is right, even when it is difficult. Thank you so much for being part of this session. This is Alina Batool, Humanity Wali, signing off. Stay kind and stay calm. So, viewers, I hope you guys liked my session with Maya. मिलते हैं किसी नए सेशन में किसी नए डिस्कशन के साथ अल्लाह हाफिज एंड पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद
That was a beautiful way to wrap it up,